Here we have the Siberian Cooler Sidekick 22. This is a 22 quart cooler. This is a direct competitor to the Yeti Roti, but the Sidekick holds about 2 more quarts and costs 25% less than the Yeti. Unlike the Yeti, which uses deceptive model numbers to describe their coolers and the capacity, the Sidekick 22 actually holds 22 quarts. Comes in granite and white. This is the granite color, which actually looks like a slab of granite. I think it's a really cool look. I mean, it's just different than your average white cooler or gray or brown cooler, whatever color. I think it just looks really neat. And looking at it from a distance, it looks more light gray, so it's not going to absorb a lot of sunlight like a darker cooler would, which obviously is going to affect ice retention the more the heat gets into the cooler. The Sidekick here is a rugged roto-molded cooler that has been injected with polyethylene foam, which provides amazing insulation. You may notice there are several logos on the cooler, and that's not stock. I've added the extra stickers. It comes with this nice thick logo right in front. Small, simple. I just wanted to help promote the brand, because I'm a fan of what they're doing over at Siberian Coolers, so I threw on some extra stickers just for brand recognition, get the word out there. The handle is a wide aluminum bar that has this nice foam gripper, and it slides a little bit. It's not stuck in place, so it's not going to get ripped if you end up holding it at an angle. It will slide just a little bit. And this I like this setup better than the thin pole style handles, just because I think it feels better in my hand, and it's going to make it easier and more comfortable, I think, to carry around. The Sidekick comes with these very thick, heavy duty rubber latches that attach to these pegs right here, and it takes a little effort to get that closed and unhooked, but that's what's helping create that tight seal that gives these roto-molded coolers such excellent ice retention. And plus, if you have little kids you don't want getting into your drinks or whatever, that's works well for that. The top here has these 4 large cup holders, and they give you plenty of space here. It's not just going to fit a 12-ounce can. It's going to fit a can inside of a koozie or a large stainless steel tumbler, or pretty much any large drink. And they are fairly deep, so I think it's going to hold most anything really well. The bottom here has these 4 pretty big rubberized pegs that really help keep the cooler in place on slippery or smooth surfaces, like maybe a boat deck or a truck bed. Especially once you get some weight in there, you're not going to be able to slide it very easily unless you want it to move. The hinge here is very heavy duty. The hinge is oftentimes a problem on your average department store cooler. That it's not very substantial and ends up breaking, but this roto-molded cooler's hinge is just really, really substantial, really thick, and it's got a thick stainless steel rod going in between here. I think this is going to outlive me. That's how durable these feel. And the lid, it fits nicely, rests on an angle here, maybe about 120, 115 degrees. Some coolers have the 90 degree with the little ridiculous strap that causes the lid to keep coming down on you when you're trying to get something out. It sits back here on an angle so that it's, unless you get a really big gust of wind, but it's going to take a lot to get that to come down if you don't want it to. So that's really nice. It's often annoying to have a lid come smacking your arm when you're trying to get something out of the cooler. You can also get this really nice wire basket that's been really thick coated here to protect against rust. And these are great options for you're taking the cooler to the beach and you want drinks, and maybe you want some sandwiches or something else that might not be airtight wrapped. keeps it nice and elevated and keeps it dry. You know, I'm sure most of us have had that soggy sandwich that has been in the cooler too long, and you know, that's no fun. And with the lid open here, let's take a look. You can see just how thick these walls are. You know, that's part of the reason these things hold ice so well. Just they're so thick and that foam is so dense in there. And your seal here, you've got this nice foam seal that sits right on this lip, and when you tighten those latches down, it really creates a nice tight, probably airtight seal. Foam feels quality, like it's gonna last. I would say that's the same kind of stuff you might see on a freezer or refrigerator. You know, it's not rubberized, but it's definitely a quality foam. As far as storage space, there is enough room here to stand a bottle without it hitting the lid, so you can fit, you know, a bunch of bottles and some ice. As far as cans, you know, depending on the ice ratio you like to have, probably fits about 18 cans with a decent amount of ice. So, you know, it's nice. It's just it's a nice on-the-go cooler. You know, you can easily carry it around, going to the beach, you're going out, you know, to the park or whatever. And I will be putting this cooler to my ice challenge. I'm going to pit it against your average $20 igloo, you know, that you get at Walmart or whatever department store. And we're going to see how long the ice is going to last. Each cooler will have probably about 20 pounds of ice and maybe 6 cans with checks every 24 hours. To make it realistic, I'll be opening the cooler several times a day, you know, to grab a beer in the name of science. And that's pretty much it. We'll see you when we start the ice test. And we are back with the Siberian Cooler Sidekick 22. It's about to start the ice challenge. Seems I may have overestimated the capacity here, and I don't think 20 pounds of ice is going to with a few cans. So we're going to see what we can fit here. Pretty much fill it up. We'll just start off with 4 cans. Let's see if we can get a good seal. Yeah. Alright, so here we go. We'll do 4 cans. We will check back in about 24 hours. And here we have the Igloo. It's a 36 quart. I think it costs about 20 bucks at Walmart. We'll load it up with 20 pounds of ice. Alright, with the Siberian Sidekick, I was only able to get maybe 16 pounds. Here in the Igloo, we have a full 20. 4 beverages in there. I'm going to even give the Igloo a cheat here, and we'll add even more ice. So now we're looking at about 24 pounds of ice with the 4 beverages, and we will see how that compares to the Siberian Cooler Sidekick 22. Here we are on day 2. That's 48 hours after the start of this test. I didn't realize Easter was going to be 24 hours and I was out of town, so no big deal. We'll just start with 48 hours into the test. We have the Siberian Cooler Sidekick 22 and your $20 Igloo. So let's take a look at the Igloo first. Get that lid to stay up. Alright. Here we can see tons of ice melt. There is quite a bit of ice in here, but I mean, I put maybe I think like 24, I can't remember now, 24 pounds, definitely over a 20-pound bag, and there's just a lot of ice melt here. I did open it several times over the past few days, but you know, standard what you do in the real world. So you can see definitely a lot of melt. Now the Siberian Sidekick here, look at that. There is some melt. I had to dig down deep to find the water, but you can just see here, 2 days in, and there's just still a ton of ice. It's kind of formed a solid block down below, but it's really doing a great job here 48 hours in. I have the feeling this is going to last a good 5 days at least. So we'll check back in another 24 hours. And we are back, day 3, now 72 hours into this ice challenge. The Igloo versus the Siberian Cooler Sidekick 22. Let's take a look and see what we got. Here in the Igloo, you can probably see there is just a whole lot of water here. A little bit of ice, not much. I can't see this lasting another 24 hours. Now in the Sidekick 22, oh, still got tons and tons of ice. Very cold. Still got big blocks in here. I can see this lasting several more days, but we will see here and check back in another 24 hours. Alright, we are back with the Siberian Cooler Sidekick 22, and this is the last segment is being filmed indoors due to bad weather. This is actually day 5, about 128 hours into the ice challenge, but unfortunately the Igloo did not survive much past 3 days. So, how did the Sidekick fare? Well, see for yourself. Still tons of ice. Incredible. 5 days in. I'd keep the test going, but I'm headed south for spring break, and I definitely want to take my Sidekick with me. The bottom line is that this Sidekick 22 is an amazing cooler. It kept ice for well over 5 days, which was really impressive to me. The design and functionality of the cooler makes me want to take it wherever I go, like a true Sidekick, I guess. You really can't beat this kind of performance, especially when it is so much cheaper than the Yeti Roadie. If you want a cooler that looks cool and won't need more ice for a really long weekend, you really can't go wrong with Siberian Cooler Sidekick 22. I love it, and I'm glad that they gave me the opportunity to review it because it really is an exceptional product.